We still have a lot to play for. That we're going for our 8th win. We're favored by 10.5. Doesn't seem to matter.
Who's acting like we're gonna cover this shit?
I
I
know.
want to know
There's no
who's
way
the
we cover.
who's the degenerate gambling addict who's taking Washington. Damn
There
it,
he
Jake.
is.
Here I
Damn
am.
it, Jake.
Let's
Here,
go.
here I am.
Who's the degenerate gambling? Jim
What, did you
Moore?
say 10.5?
10.5.
That is so bad.
I just
Yeah.
hope we score 10.5.
Oh,
What's the
Come
over
on.
under?
Trev?
Well-
Hey, Husky fans, welcome back to another episode of 4th and Inches, a Husky podcast. I'm your host tonight, Leah. I'm joined by Trevor Mueller, Jake Grant, and Naylor, I hardly knew her, Coach V. We got back on our winning ways. We took it to Purdue. We had the youth movement come out in full force, and the Huskies got it done in Husky Stadium. It was a fun game to watch. The weather held. It wasn't too bad. And the Huskies and their defensive coordinator exacted some revenge after they fired him last year. The Huskies seemed like they fired themselves the week before when they went to Wisconsin, and the Huskies got back on their winning ways. It looks like, sounds like Trevor and Jake, you guys were there as well as I was. So what were your vibes coming into the game? And did we deliver on what we thought we would see?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, for Purdue's sake, it's probably a good thing that UW wasn't fully healthy, or else that game would have been like taking popcorn from a child. It was a good time to get people, the younger kids. Sorry, I'm a little distracted right now. It was a good time to get the younger kids some playing time, early playing time, meaningful playing time. Get out there, catch the feeling of a normal game, get most of the game under their belt, and be able to get meaningful reps. Washington does what Washington does at home. They can move the ball so easily at home. They're very effective. The defense defense travels. The defense has traveled to play great at home, but it's nice seeing the offense get a jump start before they have to go to the Rose Bowl and play UCLA.
and you got to see guys that haven't necessarily got a ton of touches end up having some explosive plays. Obviously,
Oh, Washington. Jeez, that guy
Yeah.
can move.
that's another gear, right? And I'm interested in the John Mills at right tackle, how that plays through the rest of this year. And it doesn't sound like Azzopardi's going to be back this week, so I think that's going to be a spot where, maybe we're going to see Mills for an extended period of time. It was good to see Audric Harris get the ball. It sounds like he was saving to redshirt, so it was good to see him get his first touchdown. And then we got to see Adam Muhammad as a feature back, which, he gets hit and he keeps going. I'm curious to see what he looks like when Jonah Coleman moves on, and really what his load will be like this week in a game that, again, Washington's favored by double digits, but it's in the Rose Bowl. It's against UCLA. All bets are off. Who knows where Jonah Coleman is? And then obviously the week after that at home against Oregon, yards after first contact is going to be huge. So saw some really encouraging things. Saw Champ Tuilealea at right guard at times as well. That
was
looked
a
pretty
great
good.
pronunciation, Trevor. Good job.
Thank you. I was practicing. And so felt like a tune-up game after a game where honestly, it should be 2 tune-ups in a row. But unfortunately, we're not in the playoff rankings, even though Illinois is. You can't lose to a 2-win team regardless of who they are.
We shouldn't have been
Absolutely.
in the playoff conversation to begin with, just because this team's not good enough to be in that conversation. But if they had won, their last 4 games, obviously they would have been in it or in the conversation. So, I mean, the winning formula for the Huskies is purely mathematical and numerical. It's 47.65 degrees north, 122.3 degrees west. Those are the coordinates of a Husky stadium. That's the only fucking place we can win. That's it.
For right now,
That's
yeah.
it.
And I mean, like, even though we did win, obviously, in Pullman and in College Park, Maryland, it didn't look good in Maryland. And Washington State's barely a Division I school. Sorry, not sorry for saying it. So yeah, we have to show something this week. But let's gear towards what we saw in Purdue. What what were some hopeful things that we saw and any causes for concern from what we saw on Saturday?
ZRS
Oh,
is the future
oh my
of
God.
this
Yeah.
conference
He
at
is
linebacker. He is phenomenal. Like we just keep talking about it, and he's getting better. He's getting better with his angles. He's getting better in his coverage drops. He's just the instincts are the brain. There's a part where you get into the system and then your brain kind of shuts off and you just react to things. Only when he reacts, he's a superior athlete, superior, genetic specimen, whatever you want to call him. And he's so fun to watch. And I'm not even talking about just like, making plays on the ball or making tackles, just the way he moves and the way he gets in and out of his decisions. Um, it's fun and it's so early. It's how many games did he play? Like 3 or 4?
Yeah, it hasn't been that
Like,
many. It's
no,
very much
it's
like, is this going to be the next Shaq Thompson kind of conversation?
it's fun to watch. But yeah, you talk about the youth movement. I mean, it was cool to see, finally Washington got some touches at 100 yards, broke off the big run. Um, Scary moment, obviously, when Raiden, got hit, and it turns out that it was a concussion and he's fine. They were even talking about him playing this week, and I was like, "Oh, whoa, we don't need that necessarily. Let's just make sure we do everything in the best interest of the kid." And I'm sure they will. I mean, they've got a million doctors there at the University of Washington. But the young guys are just showing that there is hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, the depth, the two deeps, going forward. And I don't know. It didn't even feel like it was a real football game. It just felt like it was kind of like, hey, we're going to scrimmage. You guys want to help us out and give us some looks? And Purdue's bad. We're actually pretty good at home. Um, it got so bad for Purdue that the officials just started giving them first downs when they didn't really get far enough to get 10 yards. And then it was just kind of like, who cares? You just throw your hands up. So great win. Love it. But also, now we go back on the road.
What a perfect time. It's never good for Boston to be out of the game, right? But if there is a good time, it was this week against Purdue. What I really enjoyed seeing when I look at the stat sheet is 5, 2, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1. That's wide receiver catches. That's tight end catches. That's spreading the ball around the field. What I'd like to see coming into this week against UCLA is more of that, more spread the ball out, get it to different guys, different routes, spread the love, because teams are starting to hone in on the fact, especially on the road, that we're only looking at Denzel, and we need to get to a point where we can spread this ball out to 5 or 6 guys every game and just trust the fact that they're going to go out and make plays.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like spreading the ball was really, really something that I like to see. That game, we had our wide receiver 1 out, we had RB1 out, and it didn't seem like we missed a beat. Granted, we were against Purdue, the worst team in the conference probably, and we were able to look like not the worst team in the conference. No,
No, it's a team we lost to a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
salt in the wound. We were able to get things done and look like a well-oiled machine using very few in terms of our specialists, in terms of our offense, very few of our first-string guys, which was really cool to see because it also gives you kind of a glimpse into what we're going to see in the future. That's really exciting.
Yeah, and then like Amari Evans finally gets another ball thrown his way deep down the sidelines. What a great catch that was.
Absolutely.
It's a bunch of guys that are going to have to step up at some point, whether it's in the Rose Bowl this week, next week against Oregon, and who knows what the health of Denzel Boston's going to be. And like, if you're looking at draft boards, he's a first round draft pick. So, and Omari Evans can't be the guy because he's going to be graduating, but to finish out this year with somebody like him who can be a big play threat down the sidelines, it's something that Washington desperately needs.
Look, yeah, absolutely. And Omari Evans, shout out my friend Jerry, who was at the game with me. The first thing he said was, "Hey, you got off the milk carton." Okay, go ahead, Jake.
There's nothing better for an offense, especially that's on the road, that's stagnant, is a guy like Omari that can take the top off of a defense. I'd like to see Damon take I'm not asking for 5, 6, 7 shots in a game, but pick your 2 and try to take that deep shot to Amari and see if you can create some offense on a quick turnaround play instead of trying to methodically move the ball down the field when the last couple of road games it hasn't been working.
Yeah, that'd be something that I'd like to see when we're in Pasadena for sure. Do we know what the health of Jonah and Denzel are going to be? Have we heard anything about that?
They're both maybes. What Jed Fish said is they have Coleman has a good chance of playing. Denzel could probably play. Drew Party probably will not. So
Are we okay with kind of taking the loss, not like the lose the game, but like loss on their playing time, knowing we'd like to rest them for Oregon? Is that something we're okay with?
I mean, I want them fresh. So like, I want them to be able to play. I don't want them to be, 60% playing against UCLA with the shot of, kind of what Coach said a couple of times when some of our offensive line came back. Like, that's the danger of like a soft tissue injury. Like, you want them to be 100% full go for a game like that. It's hard to think of like UCLA had their little excitement after the firing where they go out and they beat Penn State and whatever, but the shine is kind of wore off on UCLA, so it should be in theory a win if it wasn't Washington in the dark in the Rose Bowl. So you got to win the game, but you want them to be healthier. But yeah, I mean, your receiver room is going to be tested now because RVB, I mean, I would put a lot of money on the fact that he's not going to be playing either. So it's up to Evans and Roebuck, and maybe we'll see more of Chris Lawson in a game like this. And then also Audric Harris seems to be available now as well.
And Decker got off the milk carton too. So let's go through some positions. How do we think Damon did on Saturday?
It's so interesting because it did feel like a scrimmage. Like Jake and I were watching a different game and popped in there, and as it was 0-0 when we got there, and Damon just took advantage of like a Purdue defense that's not very good. Like, he's still not as crisp, I think, in some of his passes that you'd like to see, but I think some of that might be he's a little bit beat up. But for the most part, he made the plays he needed to make, and he's still super athletic if he's able to get into the open.
I mean, 16 for 19, 257, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 7 carries, 23 yards. I mean, I'm taking that stat line against anybody. Honestly, I mean, not spoiler alert, but I could see almost the same exact stat line coming into this weekend. I think that's right around where we want Damon to be, is 257 with another 50 yards rushing would be the ideal game for Damon.
I agree. I think that staying within himself and not doing too many scrambles and just playing mistake-free football would be what I would settle for, and a win too.
The cool thing about playing at home when you have all those young guys playing is that they're in the home environment and they feel comfortable and they've got the crowd on their side, especially the offensive guys. When you go on the road, communication gets weird. I know it's UCLA. I know it's not going to be a packed house at the Rose Bowl, but just, different surroundings. There's a little bit of noise.
Grass.
Maybe, well, some guys like playing on grass. I'll tell you what, Demond in his 4 years in high school at Basha, they played on one of the worst fields. Just one of the worst. His grass field at Basha, I think they updated the turf this last year after he left. But it was the worst. Like, we would tell our kickers, if it was any kind of moisture whatsoever, skip the ball on the kickoff. It's going to take off. Those little like dirt patches and whatnot. Horrible drainage. So, yeah, I mean, it never really slowed him down no matter where he was. So him, I'm not worried about, to be honest with you. It's just, weird things happen against UCLA in the Rose Bowl. So
Absolutely. So what do we like from the running back room? So like Adam Mohammed looked pretty good. Of course, it was against Purdue, but writ large, what do we think of the running backs?
every time one of them, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all you.
Every time one of them got an opportunity, they were productive. They were bringing the third guy, the fourth guys off the bench. It didn't really matter. Offensive line did a good job. Purdue did not do a good job, but Adam was running his ass off. And, the biggest concerns a lot of people have about him is like whether or not he's got the vision to be a lead back or if he's just the guy that hits the hole hard. And he showed a little bit of diversity in his game. I think maybe there's some weird calming effect of, hey, you're the guy. Jonah's not starting. You're going to get as many carries as you need. And some guys, and this is, people don't think about this in 2025 because the running back thing has been completely diminished. But it used to be like running backs would get 25, 30 carries a game because you don't get into your rhythm until like 10, 12, 13. Defense is getting tired. Now you're starting to gash them. Like we don't see that much anymore.
The thing that I liked seeing from Adam was the ability to still find the red zone. A lot of times when you're starting running back that is an absolute touchdown monster gets hurt and doesn't play, your backup running back doesn't have the ability to kind of keep that same momentum going and find the end zone at a clip that your starter is. Adam being very productive, getting 3 touchdowns is a huge feat for him. And I think that gives the coaching staff a lot of confidence in him moving forward. So that if, goodness gracious, Jonah's is dinged up, that they can trust Adam's going to keep picking up that slack. Trevor mentioned it earlier. Or actually, I think it might have been you, Leah. Jordan Washington looked absolutely like, man, blazing speed. Hit that corner, hit that edge, and turn upfield every time, and watch him absolutely break long runs out of that at any defense in the Big Ten next year.
Do we think he's almost as fast as John Ross? Because goodness gracious, that guy can move.
He was.
It
moving.
Almost seemed like when he had that one edge run, it seemed like he wasn't at full speed yet until he realized that the D end was running towards him and then was taking the wrong angle. And then Jordan picked up the speed and just left that guy in the dust. That's a whole different set of speed in college.
Well, and it was 2 guys too. He got that guy, and then he got the corner, the safety trying to catch him, the last guy to beat him, and he just, it's not. I don't know if the route was, or if obviously his angle wasn't good, but I mean, he was so much faster. It was really fun to watch. It's gonna be important for them to find ways in these last 2 games to get him involved, especially with the offensive line feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
I really like John Mills what's that?
How tall is Washington?
He is
5'11".
5'11".
Does he have good hands? Do we know?
We don't know anything about him. We know he's fast.
We know he's fast.
Like,
yeah.
I'm just thinking about like ways that we can. You were talking about Omari taking the top off the defense. Like that's another way to do it too, if he can catch the ball.
The thing I was begging for early in the season was, can we get him a little jet sweep action? And then they started using him the last couple of weeks. He's one of the only guys on the roster that could consistently run outside zone and not, you don't worry about the speed aspect of it. But he's a legit 10-3, 100 meters guy from high school. So, I mean, it's not like he's fast for a football guy. I mean, he's a track guy who also.
So running backs looked really good. Had a lot of guys get involved. Wide receivers. Thoughts and prayers to our buddy Raiden. Hopefully he can stay on concussion protocol and get some rest this week and then come back healthy and strong against Oregon. But besides him and that ability to catch the football despite being hit, what was the wide receiver room looking like?
It's really weird. Obviously when you lose your number 1, there's a weird shuffle. And then when you have a game like this where it's 0-0 for a little bit and then you blink and Washington's up 28-0. Basically the bulk of your offensive performance is over. So, I mean, it's good to see the amount of people that got in. I like Audric Harris. It was good to see him get that 61-yard touchdown. Like,
yeah.
You saw big plays against like a bad secondary. So, I don't know what you can't take a lot away from it. You're just happy for the guys that Quade Carr got a catch. Audric Harris got a catch. Decker DeGraff finally got close to 100 yards. Like it seems like a feel good day where the ball's just distributed. Like Jake said earlier, it's just being distributed everywhere and everybody's getting to eat a little bit.
When you talk about bad Purdue defense, Audric's touchdown was running an inside release vertical against cover 4. And that's definitely not supposed to happen. But he beat his guy inside so fast, and then he stemmed it, he stacked it, and then he got back outside to the numbers, and it was like, I don't know how you go to the film room after that. I don't know how your DBs in the film room are, being able to watch that. And the coach is extra spicy, extra salty. He'll just keep rewinding that back over and over again, screaming, "We're in cover 4. You can't get beat vertically up the seam in cover 4." And yeah, poor bastard.
So wide receiver room looked really good. Got to see some youth. Got to see Audric. I think that's the last time we'll see him this year. It sounds like he's going to redshirt. But the
Yeah,
O-line, I know that we obviously talked at length at the injuries that we had in Madison and what a crap basket that was. How do we do this week on Mont Lake?
Much better.
We didn't have to face Wisconsin's front.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nice. They definitely played well. You got to give them credit for doing their jobs and excelling. But big number 8 for Wisconsin wasn't on the field, so that was
Thank
cool.
God. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's another one of those where, like, what's UCLA's? I think it'll be a little bit better of a test with UCLA's defense, which isn't necessarily great either. They got to figure out their 5 for Oregon, and nothing else matters. Oh, sorry, been up. It's been a long day.
I hear you.
They got to get themselves ready for Oregon. So whatever 5 they settle on, that's who needs to play this week. Putting Champ Leia and Pocky at right guard was awesome. I think that's a really good offense, a pretty good offensive line you put out there. Garion and Champ were switching back and forth. Garion went out, Champ went out. They got to figure out exactly what that's going to look like, but against this defensive front, it was plenty fine.
Yeah, I'm going to reserve a grade for this game just because the difference at home versus the difference of the offensive line on the road.
That's a good point.
On the road, it seems like we've had terrible false start penalties time and time again. Can't get out of our own way. We've had them at home a little bit. We've kind of had a case of the yips, but on the road, it seems like this offensive line can't stay set until the ball's snapped for the life of them. I think, thankfully, that this week is against UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Coach alluded to this. It's not the loudest stadium in the world. So I think that'll help with the communication, but they need to get the yips out of the way and they need to figure it out. Like Trev said, they need to figure it out for Oregon. So they need to go and they need to be cohesive and they need to get a good game under their belt.
Absolutely. And just Jason and his buddies were at Madison, and he said that when the Huskies were on offense in Madison, it sounded like Husky Stadium when the Huskies were on offense. It's pretty quiet. It wasn't an environment that you would expect a false start penalty to happen. It was just, to your point, Jake, lack of discipline, and that's what we're looking to see in Pasadena. So, overall, who gets the game ball? Who is the offensive MVP in Purdue?
Muhammad.
I'm going to take Decker to Graf.
I'm going with Jordan Washington.
Damn it, Coach, you stole mine. I will probably say Demond. I think that he ran a good game, and I'd like to see him have mistake-free football that we talked about as we head down to our neighbors to the south. And hopefully exercise some bad things that have happened down there. Moving on to the other side of the ball. D-line and edge. How we do? Do we have an edge room still?
Well, yeah, seriously. This defense is bad. This offense might be worse. They don't know who their quarterback is. They're not explosive at any position. And Washington just absolutely dominated this side of the ball. Ryan Walters was feeling himself. I guess we're talking about defensive linemen. I mean, we got sacks. Zach Durfee had a sack. Ontario Thompson had a sack. Deshaun Lynch had a sack. Jacob Lane has a sack. Those are all from your defensive line and edge. So got to feel good about getting out after the passer, and Purdue's running game outside of 131-yard rush by E.J. Horton, you're looking at less than 3 yards carry.
Alenius Davis getting 6 tackles, 4 solos, being tied for third leading tackler on the team is such a positive for this defense. If your D tackle is in top 3 on your team in tackling. I mean, that's a lot of tackles near the line of scrimmage. That's a lot of tackles in the backfield. That I mean, Trev mentioned it. Zach Durfee off the board with a sack this week. We need to keep that same pressure with our front 4, sometimes 5, getting QB pressure on Nico.
Can I just shout out Mr. Lynch, who last year looked like he was completely out of his element. I don't think he was. I think he had to play last year because of the depth issues, but he wasn't really a contributor. He wasn't really ready. He kind of got overwhelmed at times. And this year, he's just kind of flipped the switch and become an actual viable player in the Big Ten. So I just wanted to give that guy his flowers because he was disruptive as hell on Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been all over the football. He was going to be my defensive player of the game if we had won the game at Wisconsin. He was all over the place. Absolutely. So it sounds like it wasn't much of a challenge for us to have a good day on D-line and edge, but we still were able to get it done. Linebackers. Coach, you want to talk about a buddy of yours?
CRS. Randy Saleh is, like I keep saying, he's the next. He's the next in a long line of UW linebackers that are just, exploding onto the college football scene. And, God willing, stays healthy, just keeps on going. That's a kid that gets drafted in day 1, day 2 in a few years. Like, he's just special. And you know what? It's okay to say that. It's okay to heap praise on a true freshman who's played like 3 or 4 games. Because when you see it, you know it. Like, even the casual fans are like, what's that guy about? Oh, okay. But we were talking about earlier, his coverage drops are getting better. His depth is getting better. His angles are getting better. His athleticism is jumping off the page. It's one of those things, what I said earlier with you guys, is that, when you get into the system, you start to feel comfortable and you start to see a lot of different looks, your brain kind of shuts off and the instincts take over because it's just, it's muscle memory now. He's getting closer to that at a staggering rate. So, I'm so nervous for the kid. I want everything to go perfectly for him. I want him to stay healthy. And I don't want Ohio State to come calling, like another school, because he is so gosh darn good and he's going to be an NFL linebacker.
I really like the combination of him and Exery Alexander, which
Yeah.
I didn't even know that conversation was going to happen last year because neither one of them were in the program. You have a true freshman and a UCF transfer who are dominating.
He's a big dude and he's going sideline to sideline like it's nothing. He is so good at just tracking the ball down. And yeah, sometimes, there's like a little bit of an angle here or there that he could do a little bit better. But then he just starts blowing people up.
And he's a junior, so
Yeah.
that means you're going to get him again.
Yeah, those will be our 2 starting linebackers next year.
And then you have Devin Bryant and Jacob Manu. Come on.
Yeah. What I love more than a D tackle being tied for your top 3 tackles on your team is 3 linebackers also being in the top 3 tacklers on your defense. Everything that this defense was doing on Saturday was pushing forward, pushing towards the line of scrimmage. It's just, I mean, we keep saying, yeah, Purdue's not good, Purdue's bad. The defense still had to show up. They still had to execute. They still had to have the right play call. Everything was working for this defense. It's such a good foot forward moving into the last 2 weeks for this defense. They have all the momentum in the world right now. They've been playing good, even against, even in loss against Wisconsin. I still think our defense played good. They have all the momentum in the world right now. This defense is going to fly the last 2 weeks of the season.
That's a good thing to see. So much of the improvement in the linebacking core. What do we think about the corners?
Ephesians Prysock, and somebody else, I can't remember who it was. I saw it on Twitter. They were talking about him too. I wish I had saved that tweet because it was exactly what I've been thinking. He's having the most underrated good year this year. Like last year, there's some flashes and there were some struggles and whatnot. He's shutting people down. He is not allowing completions to his side of the field very often. He's making plays. He's making it difficult, with his length, just the certain angles that you can't get the ball in to certain guys. I think he's doing really well. And Takario is like, he'll have a couple plays here and there where he kind of like, you know, he gets called for a lot of penalties that aren't real. Like he's just so physical. Like they'll throw a flag, and you're looking at it's like the receiver pushed him, not the other way around. That type of thing. But I just wanted to say Ephesians is having such a solid year in his
Mhm.
walk through his senior year, and I don't think he's getting enough credit.
We know that we have two NFL corners on our starting lineup. What I enjoyed seeing was seeing Paul Menke Jr. come out and get some reps late in the game. I'd like to see that kid stay in the program. I think that kid has a future as a starting cornerback for this team. So to get him out there early, get some game reps, I think that he's going to be a good player moving forward.
Mhm.
It's just trying to find the room for him, and I hope that we do, next year at the latest.
So yeah, Trev, you share this, but it was Evan Feather who tweeted that today, and it was a perfect tweet. And if you don't follow Evan Feather, what are you doing with your life?
Man,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Why do you got to put it like that? I don't.
he's a phenomenal photographer as well.
He is amazing.
Let me check to make sure if I'm following him. This has become an Evan Feather fan podcast.
I mean, there's worse
Tough
things
to you,
to do.
buddy.
Oh, I
I do
am
not.
following him. I do. What are you
I'm
doing with
following
your
him
life, Leah?
now.
What are you doing?
What am I
Let's
doing with
go.
my life, Jake? What's going on? Come on, Leah.
Elite photographer.
Jeez. All right. Well, shout out Evan Feather. That was a really nice little interlude that we had shouting him out. But what do we think about the safety room?
Just a boring night of
Yeah.
not a lot of. I mean, they covered their receivers. I don't know how much to take out of it. I think that incomplete. Let's see what happens next week for literally the entire defense, because the defense has had two really unexplosive offenses, and they've basically shut both of them down.
Can we
So
can we raise a little awareness this week for the obvious smear campaign that the referees have against our um Ryland Dillon Allard? I can't even say his name right. RDA, Batman.
Dillard Allen.
Yeah, every week they're trying to get him for targeting, and then they go back and review it and realize that they're full of shit.
he's just a really good tackler.
Why are we picking on the freshman? So I want to
He
raise
hits
awareness
because he hits hard,
here.
dude.
I want to raise awareness here for our dozen followers, listeners, viewers, and just get the word out that the NCAA or the Big Ten or whoever has it out for this kid because they know how great he's going to be in the next couple of years.
Yeah. He's being picked on. Not okay. Not
Look,
okay.
look, Sunshine keeps just doing his thing.
Let's
You know,
go.
5 tackles. He just is so good. Seeing McKellisteen not only have 1 tackle, I love it. Just be there. Don't be necessary, Just be a guy. Just standing out on the field. I love it. Just play like that the rest of the year.
Absolutely. Who's the
Sean
defensive
Clark,
MVP, guys? Are we all in agreement about who the defensive
Go ahead,
MVP is?
coach.
Come on,
Yeah,
coach.
just
I
say
know
the
you want
thing.
to.
Say
Say
the
the
thing.
thing.
He's not gonna.
What, you guys want me to say something? What?
Who's the defensive MVP?
Say the name.
X-Ray Alexander.
I knew he was gonna try to punk us.
Dude,
No, listen.
Hi, I'm Ashton Kutcher.
I love ZRS and I love what he's doing and everything. But I think X is setting the freaking tone right now. The physicality, the sideline to sideline stuff. Like he's getting everybody hyped up. I just think that he's bringing an edge that we've missed a little bit. And it's okay for the freshman to kind of follow the lead of the junior. It's okay. They're both, like we just talked about it, they're both great right now. They're both having really good seasons. So if I'm being honest, he's my MVP because he's the tone setter, right?
You know what really grinds my gears, Trev?
hey.
Coach does. You know why? Because X-Ray was my MVP, and when we were trying to bait him into saying ZRS, I knew he was going to take him. I knew he was going to take X, and it pricked me off. So for that,
it pricked you off.
It pricked me off.
That sounds like a medical condition.
And I'm just going to stick with X. I agree with Coach. Everything he said is true.
If you would just take that attitude more often, you'd be a happier fella.
I don't know when I'm not happy.
Trev, what do you think?
I'm gonna let's go. I know who you're gonna pick, so I'm gonna be nice to you on that. I'll go Elenius Davis as an encapsulation of the defensive line.
Yeah. I mean, I
Great
was
family.
gonna say Lynch or ZRS. So I think they both like I think that Lynch has probably not gotten his due flowers because I think he's played well in games where his teammates have let him down. So but obviously when Zadrius gets his first interception, I'm gonna have to give him the defensive game ball. But okay, so you guys we're getting ready to head down south by about 1,000 miles and go to the Rose Bowl. Play UCLA. UCLA doesn't have a coach. They had a big win against James Franklin's former team. And they have been somewhat competitive at some points and really look terrible at other points. What do we think about Trevor's Baby Blues as the Huskies head on the road to face UCLA?
I just think it's funny that you mentioned that UCLA's big win is against Penn State that 9 other teams also have a win against. So
That's the win they did, though, Jakey. It was like a
if
big deal.
if that's your big win, I'm super duper happy for you, UCLA.
That's
Uh,
Diabolical. You could say the same thing to Oregon, though, Jakey.
That is true.
100%. Yes, I saw a hilarious reel earlier. I guess it would actually just be a stat line that, like, if you look at the top 15 teams, this like best ranked win, and everybody's like number 4, number 3, number 5. It gets to Oregon, it's like not ranked is their best win. That was amazing. I love that.
So good.
Look, Nico's a good quarterback.
A ding dong.
Yeah, he has his ebbs and flows. There's moments where he makes a pass and you're like, where the heck was he going with that? And then there's moments that he drops a ball on a dime to a receiver in stride when he's on the run, going the opposite direction. I really, really like the way that he plays. He's completing at like a 63% clip. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's pretty good. 12 tutties on the season. They do give up some pressure on him. He does get sacked a lot. The thing that entices me about this matchup, UCLA's matchup versus our defense, is that UCLA does not run the ball. That Nico's their leading rusher. Their leading rusher as a running back has less than 300 yards on the season.
And is averaging less than 3 yards a carry.
Yeah, he's got 1 touchdown. So the strength of Washington's defense, I think that we can all agree, is our cornerbacks, right?
3.6 yards a carry. That's my fault.
What?
3.6 yards a carry. That's my fault.
Yeah.
Not
dumb. But the strength of our defense, I think our defense is really good as a whole, but the strength of our defense is our 2 NFL starting cornerbacks. I cannot wait to watch our corners match up against those wide receivers and hopefully take out the passing game completely from Nico and watch UCLA scramble trying to find a run game mid-game and try to make adjustments, because I don't think that they have it in them.
Well, and Coach talked about how X-Ray Alexander is running so well sideline to sideline. You have the instinctual Zadris, and then you also have Devin Bryant as well, who's available, who will be imperative to stop Nico from getting outside on the scrambles as well, because that's really the only way they're going to move the ball. Now, you are probably going to see them use the West Coast football, like the short passes as the run game kind of stuff. So, Rayshon Clark's going to be really important, guys in the middle of the field to stop those quick slants from getting started. But man, I mean, dare him to throw on you, man. Like, you have the guys to do it. I think that's you feel really good. I mean, you feel really good about this defense anyways, right? The defense has looked fantastic most of the year. So, I think it bodes really well. And, UCLA's defense is streaky, I guess you could say. Yeah.
That's like the thing that I'm most worried about our travel, is that we've talked a lot about how we travel defensively. And I worry the most about how we show up on offense. What do you guys think?
I 100% agree. If I'm a betting man, which I am, I'm taking the under on this game, because I don't love the way that our offense travels. I do love the way that our defense travels. And I just don't think that it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I mean, I could be wrong, But I do think that this game is going to end stat line wise completely different than the Purdue game is going to end, where our defensive tackles and our linebackers were our leading tacklers. I do think that it's going to be our corners and our safeties. It's just where are they making the tackles? The stats can be deceiving behind this game because I do think that our top 5 tacklers are going to be Sunshine, Takario, Ephesians, and maybe Mikel. But are they crowding the line of scrimmage? Are they taking away that short to intermediate game? And like Trev said, dare them take a shot across the top and let our cornerbacks go and make the plays that we know that they can make. I hope, last point, I know I'm talking a lot, but I hope that the referees keep the yellow flags in their pockets this game.
Keep 'em in the belt, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Hey, Jake, just because you said that, we're going to get more because you said it out.
Don't you put that evil on me. Don't put, you know what?
Don't you talk
I got
on
this
us.
big back. Put it on me.
Coach, what do you
It's
think?
like Geno Smith said, just blame me for everything, you know, right? Blame it on me.
What do you think is going to happen in Pasadena, Coach?
I am tired of watching this operation every time they leave Husky Stadium. It makes me mad. It ruins my Saturday. I get angry. I get stressed out for no reason. And then I just there's a moment every Saturday that they're on the road where I'm like, all right, Seahawks, you're up.
Mm-hmm.
And that pisses me off because like I don't want to be dismissive of them on the road. But we've got 2 seasons of evidence now that state that we are not good when we leave the state of Washington or even Husky Stadium. So what I'm going to be looking for is I think even though our defense coordinator doesn't like to play a ton of zone, I think that with a running quarterback, you can't just play man across the board and let him just take off. I would like to see a spy on passing situations, the third downs. I would like to see ZRS just stalk him like a lion on a gazelle. I would like to see a little bit more combination coverage just to confuse the kid because I think that Nico is a 1.5 read quarterback. I don't think he's getting through the third progression. And by the time he does, that's when the pass rush gets there. So I feel like making him hold the ball a little bit is a good thing because if he has to be a decision maker from the pocket, we've won this game.
Hey, could I go back real quick? I got very distracted looking something up. We forgot to talk about Quentin Moore and his insane block on
Yeah.
Michael Ower taking the kid to the bus.
Yeah.
like he
see
almost
his
got flagged for
tweet,
excessive blocking. That was insane.
Did y'all
I'm
see
so
his
sorry.
tweet about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
Getting
just
that
saw.
blocking rating up.
Uh-huh.
Hilarious. Coach,
So
hang on, but I also don't want to dismiss Coach's take on Nico because he is God. What's the Tennessee coach's name? Josh Heupel. He comes from Josh Heupel, who notoriously runs a 1 wide receiver route at a time offense. It's just something that Josh Heupel's always done. He'll have 3 wide receivers on the field, 4 wide receivers on the field, but 2 or 3 of those wide receivers will take the play completely off and not even run a route, while 1 is streaking or running the route that he's looking for. So I think Nico is still not over that type of offense and not capable of looking past the second read. And I think Coach absolutely nailed it. And I think it's because of the Tennessee ties that he had for so long that he has not come accustomed to going from first read to second read to third read. So I love Coach's defensive scheme for that game.
Did you put me on the payroll?
It's a house. I mean, as much as we talk a lot of crap about Sun Devil Stadium, and for good reason, because we don't do well there, I was just doing some research on the Huskies and how they perform at the Rose Bowl. The Huskies, UCLA has been playing at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena since about the 1982 to 83 season. In that time, the Huskies are 3-12.
Ugh. Brother,
And during that time, the Huskies in the Rose Bowl game have won 4 games and lost 2. So we have a better record playing in the granddaddy of them all than playing Trev's Baby Blues at the Rose Bowl. It is horrifying. I actually I was stunned when I looked that up. That is disgusting. We got to fix that, gang. We got to do better.
I was talking to somebody about the game this week. They texted me about it, and I was like, this is the same matchup in the Rose Bowl that brought you the famous Rondo call of the twin ball sack, with the ball twins playing edge against us in the Rose Bowl, and they both went crashing down on our poor quarterback, and Rondo
Killed Trevor.
unleashed the twin ball sack call, and that is the only good thing that's come out of this matchup over the years.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
That is so funny.
What do we think is going to happen? We've talked a lot about this. Obviously the Huskies, we still have a lot to play for. That we're going for our 8th win. We're favored by 10.5. It doesn't seem to matter.
Who's acting like we're gonna cover this shit?
I
I
know.
want to know.
There's no way we cover.
Who's the degenerate gambling addict who's taking Washington?
There he is.
Here I
Damn
am.
it, Jake.
Let's
Here-
go.
Here I am.
Who's the degenerate gambling asshole who set the line? Jim
What,
Moore.
did you say
the
10
Coug?
and a half?
10.5.
Ugh, that is so bad.
I just
Yeah.
hope we score 10.5.
Oh,
Oh, what's the
Yeah.
over under?
Trev?
12?
give me 1 second.
12.
That's funny. It is. Come on. The over under is 51.5.
Whoa.
Under. Oh my
Whoa.
God.
A lot of
Take the
points.
under, folks.
Oh,
Take the
my.
That is
under.
Hammer the
Easiest.
under.
Yeah. On second thought, we're just going to end the podcast right now so that I can make it to the casino in the next 20 minutes so
That's-
I can go hammer the under.
Here's my casino right here, sir.
Yeah. I'm going to take the under, but I am going to take, because I raised my hand, I am going to take the Huskies to cover. It's going to be 24-13.
You are an optimistic son of a bitch.
Absolutely. And I picked this pen out just for you today, Trev, because I know how much you love Baby Blues, and I just thought I wanted to bring this attraction back. You know what I'm saying?
Baby Blues,
You know what I'm
going
saying?
to the granddaddy. Jake, you're
I
a big
can't
fan
believe
of
I
the
can't believe that Trevor's not a guest of honor at this game for the
I
UCLA.
know.
That's breaking news.
Breaking.
Coach, score prediction. Coach, score prediction.
Oh, I have to go first?
No, Jake just did it. You're going second.
Oh, that's right. I think that I am going to take a staunch stance against us as a road team until they prove me wrong.
That's a good decision.
Because
Good answer.
I'm always like, yeah, matchup wise, we should easily handle Wisconsin. And then I watch them trot out to midfield before the coin toss, and they all remove their helmets, drop their pants, take a seat, and take a huge dump in their helmets at midfield, and then proceed to lose the game. So I'm going to go UCLA 13, UW 10. Prove me
Sure,
wrong,
Trev.
Jed. Prove me wrong.
This is coming from me. So
Oh no.
no, this is sad, Trev.
Not Duke, Trev?
It's not Duke, Trev. It's going to be 21-17 Huskies.
He's sad.
I
gonna play well.
It's not
It's
winning.
going to be a slog,
I
but they're going to eventually get 3 touchdowns.
picked
If
that
they-
exact score, but the opposite way, Trev. I picked 21-17 UCLA. Because show me you can get it done. Reverse psychology. Let's do it.
Isn't
ahead, Jake.
California the show me state?
No, that's Missouri.
I would
Denver's-
agree. I would agree that it's so here's what I think is going to happen. I think McLaughlin is going to be playing up against the quick slants a lot, and then I think he's going to double his season interception rate, and he's going to get 2 picks, and one of them is going to go to the house, and that's going to be one of the scores that puts us over the top against UCLA. I don't put it all on our offense to score 24 points, but I do think that we will score 24 points.
Okay. All right, optimist. All right, so We've picked what's going to happen in UCLA. Now, time to go. Storylines around the country. I'm going to cede the floor to Coach V because I think he would like to send out a huge congratulations to the new coach of the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Oh my
Virginia
gosh.
Tech, listen, I've always respected your program, Frank Beamer days. I mean, great players have come through there over the years. But
Michael Vick's
um,
brother. Michael Vick's brother.
Marcus, you like
Yeah.
Marcus? You a big fan of Marcus?
Big
Yeah.
Marcus. He's a big Marcus guy.
I have a really good friend that I knew in Florida, and she is a lifelong Hokie. She grew up around that campus, and I just sent her a text the other day with the news about James Franklin, and I just wrote, "I'm sorry." And to be clear, he's going to have a nice floor for the program. They're gonna win enough games to be competitive, and he's just going to break your heart, guys. I hope you weren't planning on winning anything of any import for the next 5 to 10 years.
I'm in a group. Me and Trevor are in a group chat with my brother-in-law. It's called the Diddy Party. Don't blame me, blame Trev.
Can't say that.
Hey, this is a family podcast, Jake.
Trevor's
Yeah, but
almost
Trev
been
said the
canceled now twice this
Coach
week.
said the F word not but 20 minutes ago, so I can say the word Diddy, you know?
I didn't make that name up.
Yeah, you did. Don't
No.
lie. Don't lie to our 12 listeners.
I made the picture.
God, just stop talking about it before we all get canceled.
We were talking about the James Franklin hired at Virginia Tech the other day, and I told Virginia Tech fans to be ready for 8 5-7 seasons in a row because that's where they're going to be.
No, they'll be like an 8-win.
I don't even think they're going to be that much.
Be like their floor, like their, but they won't have a ceiling that's like any greater than like 8.
8 wins for a Virginia Tech team that has not been relevant since Beamer left.
Because the one thing the guy can do is he can con people, and he can network and he can recruit a little bit. He just never puts an offense together that's worth a dang. And if he does, then their defense isn't that good.
He couldn't put an offense together at
all
Penn
the
State.
resources, with all the resources he had at Penn State and all the talent they had. That's the problem. He can get guys in the door that look like dudes. He just can't get them to win a championship.
We'll find out.
We will find out. New college rankings, our CFP rankings came out this week. Anything that struck you? Any big feelings or opinions about what we saw?
Go ahead, Trev. If you're gonna, I think it's hilarious that a 2-loss Oklahoma is ranked higher than a 1-loss Oregon. And I think that the committee is finally taking into account that Oregon doesn't have any wins. They have 1 loss, but they have 0 wins. And I think that the committee isn't blind to the fact that Oregon's not playing anybody this year. And Oregon is potentially on the verge of falling out of the CFP with a loss to Washington to end the year, because a 2-loss Oregon team, I don't think makes the CFP. They're already ranked
with you.
They're already ranked 8th
I
or
disagree
9th.
with you.
And if they lose to Washington to end the year, not make the Big Ten championship with a 2-loss, they'd be down to like 15. They're not taking the top 15 teams.
You have to account for the guys, the teams in that area. They're going to lose a rivalry game here and there. Like some teams will drop, ahead of them.
Yeah, I think it'd be tough for Oregon to make it. I really do.
So Notre Dame's going to be in.
Oregon's at number 6.
They're number 7.
This thing is so stupid.
7.
Oklahoma and Texas are both going to be in because neither one of them are making the SEC championship, and neither one of them are going to lose another game.
Texas has got 3 losses. They're done.
Yeah. The question is,
Alabama.
If Alabama loses the Iron Bowl, are they in with 3 losses?
No.
That Texas A&M comeback last week was incredibly important for a lot of teams. And if, it was just like everything went wrong in the first half and then just came roaring back. And it's like, that's how good Texas A&M can be. Like, that's talented enough to win it all, because there's no great team except for maybe Ohio State. And even them, I mean, A&M's got the athletes to match up with them.
You really think that, I'm not saying that you're right or wrong, Jake, but you really think that if the Huskies beat Oregon, we knock them clean out of the CFP?
I really do.
Okay.
I've been convinced of this for a while that I don't believe outside of like a conference championship of like the ACC or Big 12, if a fluke happens, I don't think that a 3-loss team makes it into the CFP as like a qualifying bidder, like like an automatic
No, I
bidder.
don't either, but that would be their second loss.
Right, I understand that, but there will be teams with there will be multiple teams with 2 losses that have a way better resume than
You're
Oregon
not
does.
wrong. You're not
So
wrong.
Yeah, I was
for
just
that
looking at like
reason, I'm out.
you have a 2-loss you have a 2-loss Miami who will have a better win on their resume than Oregon if they drop one of their next 2, because I mean USC's coming to town and Oregon is down a lot of
Do we think
receivers. Like
do we
I
think
don't
if
I
they
don't
drop
know.
USC and beat Washington that they're still in? But if they drop USC, what do we think about that?
No, I mean I think if if they're 2 losses, they're sweating on Selection Sunday or whatever. So
And with that being said, on top of the Oregon thing, Indiana came into Autzen, kind of throttled them.
Beat the
The
brakes
score
off
wasn't
them.
as
Yeah,
they kind of did. They just kind of manhandled Oregon.
we did.
And then they go to Washington and lose to a team that lost to Wisconsin. That's not a good look for Oregon because I mean, would you consider Washington one of their 2 hardest games this year?
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
You
but
know,
Iowa was a good game.
Especially
USC.
at home.
what 6-4 Iowa?
Right.
But
And they
you're
barely
also
beat.
looking
They beat.
like Vanderbilt will have a better case at 8-2. Miami will have a better case at 8-2.
Utah.
Alabama will have a better case at
They're
8-2.
like 11-12, and BYU and Utah just sitting there like we're kind of in right now.
Yeah, I actually
And
think Alabama with 3 losses has a better resume than Oregon with 2.
Yeah, that won't matter.
100%. I just don't think a 3-loss team gets in this year,
No, I
unless
think
it's a conference champion.
I
I
mean,
think-
honestly, BYU is probably going to go to the Big 12 championship, and that's going to be a detriment to them because they're going to lose to Texas Tech and then be out instead of being. You almost don't want. We're seeing. I bet you in the next few years you're going to see the end of the conference championship game because it is going to. If it goes that way, well, I guess if you're BYU and you lose that conference championship, you still should be ranked above Utah, who you beat.
It eliminated USC a couple years ago
Yeah.
against Utah.
yeah,
It
but they're not
has
going to get rid of those games because there's a lot of money
a
involved.
ton of
That's
money.
true.
Yeah. And it's an easy way to create an automatic bid, right? So those are automatics in. They don't have to do any sweating. You get a spot no matter what. We don't have to even debate that. So that eliminates the fact that the committee could be wrong on multiple occasions.
Well, what you'll see is they'll just expand the freaking playoff one more time and just make that
Mhm.
another.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Don't. I mean, shake your head. I disagree with it too, but that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what's wild is that like Georgia has like early in the season, it didn't look like they were good this year,
Yeah.
right? And now they're 9-1, and they're kind of like catching momentum, and they're the number 3 in the poll or number 4 in the poll. And I'm looking at this top 4 of like Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Georgia, and I could honestly say that all 4 of those teams could win it. And then there's just the 5 through 25. I'm like, it is a shoot,
I
including
would even
including Oklahoma, including Notre Dame, including Bama, all these guys. Like any one of those teams could beat any one of the other
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, I would say yes, the top 4 are all really, really good, but I would even clump in Alabama, Oklahoma, and who was the last team that you said?
Texas Tech,
And even
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame into that list. All 8 of those teams could absolutely win 3 games and win the national championship.
Yeah, this would be a really good year to have 4, though. To be honest with you,
All it
I
takes-
feel like there's 4 really good.
has been good all year, but they lost to ASU, and ASU is okay.
But all it takes is like one loss from Ohio State to like drop the ball randomly, because we know at the end of the day Ryan Day is still their coach, so they have the ability to just oops on the field and lose a bad game, and then
Like
that opens
Michigan
the
when they
door
were
up to
6-6.
Texas Tech, who
Well,
could
they're
have
going to play at Michigan, Jakey. So
yeah.
what they are? They haven't beaten Michigan in several years, so
If they lose to Michigan this year, they should be kicked out of the playoff.
If they lose to Michigan this year, can you imagine what Portnoy's all the smack he's going to talk on the Big Noon kickoff?
I won't know. I don't
think it's ever. I don't think it's ever going to stop. I don't think he ever stops.
just a continuous run through. He'd have a ticking a counter on Big Noon kickoff saying how many days it's been since Ohio State beat Michigan. I think they're up to like 900.
Anything else to talk about before we wrap for tonight?
Yeah, Josh Naylor.
Yeah, shout out Dirty Photo.
Re-signing with the Seattle Mariners.
Justin Hollander. Everybody in this room knows this, but Josh Naylor is my husband. I'm not taking any further comment, and now he's going to be here in Seattle for 5 years, and I am obsessed. So much love.
What you two share, mostly on your end, is so beautiful.
It's pure.
You almost forget that it was a green card wedding. Because he is great.
I shout out Trev wearing his Josh Naylor beanie tonight, so I respect the game.
But hey, we're not done yet.
Might as well go win the whole fucking thing.
By the time the Huskies season has ended, I mean like the regular season, we will have a brand new signing. We might even have a trade.
Google? Gooby-dooby-doo. I hope so.
And I don't even care if it's Scooble. It can be Ketel Marte. It could be Stephen Kwan. I don't really care. They're gonna make some additions to the bullpen. I'm not Dugan here. I'm not moosing here, whatever it is.
You're close to moosing.
But something's different in the air, and I think it's all Cal's fault. I think Cal put the wheels in motion when he signed his extension, wanted some guarantees. I think he pushed really hard for Josh to come back, and they were like, "Yeah, absolutely."
Absolutely. I listened to the
job's not done.
I listened to the Marine Layer podcast. Shout out TJ, shout out Lyle. And they were talking about how the contract for Naylor includes a no trade clause, which as well it should, but it shows how serious he is. His press conference was 10 out of 10, no notes. It shows exactly why everyone fell in love with him immediately. He's so serious about being here, and I just love it. Love him, love it. So thank you, Mariners organization, for signing our guy. Is there anything else Husky related that we need to talk to before we wrap?
Recruiting is heating up. Recruiting is heating up. It's getting kind of cool, getting kind of exciting. It's almost flip season. And we're gonna have some
Oregon's favorite season because they lose a lot of recruits.
Well,
but shout out Cody Green, number 20 player in the country. That was a good little jump.
I was told by Ryan Schill that he is trending down. No.
I was told by Ryan Schill that the Amish look was in, so why are we shouting him out on the pod?
We're not. We're just making fun of him. We're dunking on him and we're Dugan. All right. Well, with that, that'll do it for another episode of 4th and Inches, a Husky podcast. Be sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And if the 12 of you that are still listening would like to watch us in action, you can feel free to check us out on YouTube at 4th and Inches, a Husky podcast. We will be back in your ears next week to hopefully talk about our 4th win since 1983 in Pasadena. But until then, for Trevor Mueller, Coach V, Jake Grant, I'm UW. There's only one way to gain national respect, and it's to win games you're expected to. The Dogs need to make progress and get a resounding win away from home, and it starts Saturday at the Rose Bowl. Let's exercise those Pasademons. TM. Beat UCLA. Go Dogs.
Shout out Snuggies.
This is the granddaddy. Jake's a big fan of grandmommies.
I love popcorn from children.
Shout out to fans at Husky Stadium who get their random